Hello, welcome to week 4. We are almost halfway through the semester. So there's lots of things happening right now, lots of busyness. And it's all kind of piling up. You are currently working on your revision for writing number 1. You're currently thinking about research for for the project number 2. And in the meantime, you're reading a novel. Lots and lots of things. All the things are here, and there's a lot of pressure with that. But I will remind you, 7 week semester, doubling, more than doubling the work each week. It requires a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of commitment to get through the summer semester, um, and a lot of focus. So hopefully you are focused. Hopefully you're seeing all the things and remembering all the things. If not, I would recommend getting a planner, taking notes, building your calendar each week so that you know what you need to get through. Let's just look at the tasks for this week. 13 items. Whew. Okay, here they are. The first one you're doing right now, watching the lecture. This is your first lecture for the week, and this is really just kind of a way of getting us organized, making sure you see what you have to do. You have to start revising writing number 1. Now, hopefully, you've already been doing that, but you've got to get a revision of that done. You've got to read the assignment sheet for writing number 2. That's up and posted right now. The project number 2, writing number 2, is another big thing we're getting ready to jump into. And so you need to be aware of that. You need to read all of Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, Dados. That's the entire novel you've got to read this week. You've got to participate in discussion number 1. This discussion number 1 is going to ask you to talk about the novel in 3 different sections. I think you have 6 posts to do for that. You've got to watch lecture number 2, 10 minutes to library research. And in discussion number 2, I'm going to also introduce project number 2, the whole project. So that's going to be an important discussion for our lecture for us this week. You've got to read the stage 1 instructions for writing number 2 and then participate in discussion number 2 that is going to use those instructions. You've got to read ChatGPT, Chatbots, and Artificial Intelligence in Education. You're actually just exploring a website there. You don't have to read it very closely. Watch the video, all the jobs AI will replace in the next 5 years, and then watch the third lecture, lecture number 3, essay exams as academic products. And then let me just say there's 3 lectures this week. Each of them are a little shorter than I usually do, so combined they're about the same amount in length of lectureship. And then number 12, submit your writing number 1 revision. And then I see a typo, number 13, submit your week 4 notes journal. So that's a lot. Let me just say the revision for writing number 1, you've got to include with that your transcript of the interviews, your research proposal, and the revised draft. I already have the workshop draft up on Moodle, so you don't need to submit that along with the rest. Put it all into one Microsoft Word or Pages or RTF document, and then submit that, and I'll be able to see it all. That's a lot. And I understand that it's a lot. There's a lot of, and it's not just, I mean, there's smaller tasks than what we've been doing, but there's a lot of them, and it's hard to keep them all organized. So it's important for you to really think about organizing your time and your efforts to make sure you get them all done. Clearly, the biggest one of these is reading all of Dados. Do Android Stream of Electric Sheep. The second biggest one is revising number 1, but the other ones take some effort too, including doing some research. So let's take a look at how you might budget your time. I put this up on our introduction to the week and on Moodle, but I also wanted to talk about it here. Reading Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. If you read that for 45 pages a night for 5 night totals, you'd be done. And that's about 5 hours. It depends on your reading speed. That's not a whole lot to read a novel. It's a great novel, really interesting. So it's worth 45 pages a night. Reading and watching the other materials, probably about 2 hours to read the other stuff and watch the lectures and the video. You're going to have to do some researching this week, maybe about 6 hours of that. Depends on how effective and how efficient you are with research, how thorough you are with research. But you got to do some research, and you'll read about that in the materials. Your discussion boards, about 2 hours this week. And then writing number one, probably 4 hours to really get a good revision of that done. And keep in mind, the revising of number one, you do need to submit a revision, different from the workshop draft. And again, if you did not put a workshop draft in, you're going to have to submit both a workshop draft and a revision so that I can see how you're shifting between the two. And then you got your journal, another couple hours. All total, that's about 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 19, 21 hours of course time. That's a lot, but again, that's about normal for a 7-week semester, what kind of time you should be putting into each of your courses, which is why you don't take any more than 2 or 3 courses in a 7-week semester. I want to go over some updates for the class. First, discussion boards. There's some people that are really great on discussion boards, some people who are really last minute on discussion boards, some people who are not participating fully on discussion boards or missing the point of the questions totally, or just saying, yeah, great idea, and moving on. So there's all different kinds of levels of participation here. I want to see that you are engaged and part of what's going on. The course is based on engagement. So if you're not participating in those discussion boards, or you're just kind of half-assing it, or not really participating very much, that's a problem. But if you are participating, thank you for being there. Thank you for making the workshop a valuable experience for many people. Thank you for being engaged with each other's writing and each other's ideas. That matters to me, and I'm happy to see it when it's happening. The journals, again, that's about engagement as well. Doing a full journal, hitting all the texts, all the lectures, all the videos for the week, making sure you're taking notes, making sure you're reflecting on them. Ideally, you're doing enough to make the journals useful for you, but also you're trying to show me that you're doing the reading. I'm going to be grading another one of those journal entries either this week or next to give you one more back before the end of the semester. So hopefully you're right along the task there. I did want to mention assessment and grading. I've received some questions from people about where their grades are or what's happening with their grades. I will remind you there's a notice up on the main Moodle page about the Moodle gradebook. There is also a lot of discussion in the syllabus about how I grade, why I grade, what grading is in English 132. So let me just break it down real quickly for you. You have 3 major things you're graded on in this class. The 3 major things are your 3 writing projects, your online participation and engagement with the materials and with the course. That includes discussion boards, how you're reading and what you're reading. And then you're being graded on the journals and how the journals are showing your experience with the course. The 3 major writing assignments are worth 60% of your overall grade. The participation is worth 20% of your grade. Journals are worth 20% of your grade. Both the journals and the discussion boards are not really graded individually. They are graded as a group to see how you're doing overall. And while I give you some feedback on a couple of the journal entries, the main point of it is that you are doing it. You're getting the grade for doing it. And as long as you're doing it and you're doing it authentically and with effort, then you'll get the full credit for that. The same goes for the discussion boards. I don't grade those individually. I don't give you points on each one. As long as you are participating, you're answering the question, you're doing the minimal work, then you'll get credit for those. That means that 40% of your grade is just kind of the ongoing work and how engaged you are with it, and then 60% of your grade is the writing for the course. Those papers are graded individually. I grade your three projects, and then I average those grades for your final grade. As far as the Moodle gradebook goes, that's not my gradebook. Things show up there when I assign like an assignment that has a module. It'll show up on the Moodle gradebook, and it may or may not be filled out with a grade before the end of the semester. At the end of the semester, your journals will all be filled in as grades, and then your papers will all be filled in. You cannot trust the Moodle gradebook to give you an average of your grade. That's a clear policy for this class. And frankly, I don't believe that students should have access to a teacher's gradebook. Now, there's nothing particularly wrong with that if a teacher wants to give it, and it really works well for a math class where you have homework assignments. Being able to see whether or not you did those homework assignments and what you got on them, that's important. That's not the way it works for process. This is a process-oriented class, and you're getting graded as much as your engagement with the process as what you produce. So you don't get access to my full gradebook. You get to see what you're turning in, and then you'll get to see the grades at the end of the semester, although I'm always happy to talk with you about your grades. Number 4, academic integrity. So I've caught a couple of people already using AI on their discussion board posts, using AI on their writing, and a couple of those people, I've caught more than a couple of them are already gone. They're done with the class. They ended up dropping so that I didn't fail them for for cheating. I'm also have my eye on a few other people. If you are cheating in this class, if you are using AI, if you're using other people's writing, if you're just copying other people's discussion board posts and using them in your own discussion board posts, then you are cheating and you will get in trouble for academic dishonesty. If you get in trouble for academic dishonesty, you will then end up failing the course. Sorry for raising my voice. I was trying to let the people in my house know that I'm recording a lecture. I wasn't really angry. If you get in trouble for academic dishonesty, then you will end up failing the course and getting a note sent to the registrar saying you failed the course for academic dishonesty. We talked about this during the syllabus talk. That's not a good thing to have happen. If you fail the course for academic dishonesty, that goes on your transcript and it stays with you. So if you're using AI for this class, knock it off. If you are cheating for this class, taking other people's words and presenting them as your own, using former classmates or former students' work in your own writing, knock it off. That's going to get you in trouble. I hate to get all dire and serious with here, but I need you to know that I'm serious about this. You should be too. The last day to withdraw from this class is June 5th. By the way, if you're not using it, then no stress. Don't worry about it. If you're doing all your journals, you're doing all the discussion boards posts, no stress, man. You're getting it. You're almost certainly getting an A in this class right now. After your first paper, you'll get a better idea of where you're sitting. Everything's cool. It's only for those people who aren't doing the work or who are cheating on the work that need to be worried. Last day to withdraw is June 5th. You got to withdraw from this class if you want a W for the class, or else you get another grade. I will give DR grades. That's an instructor withdrawal for people who disappear. Number 6, writing number 1 is due on June 3rd. You've got to have that submitted on next Monday by the due date. That's your official writing number 1 grade, and that's the one I will grade. This week, you're reading Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? That reading includes an entire novel, and it's a really great novel, really interesting. It's got a lot of interesting stuff going on with it, including androids and murder mystery and intrigue and big shadowy corporations and the future. So lots of cool stuff going on in it, and we're reading it to think about issues of authenticity and what it means to live in a world with AI. A couple of things. You can look this stuff up on your own, but I'm going to just mention them. Philip K. Dick is the author of the novel. He was born in 1928 So that is a long time ago, before World War II, before the Great, or right at the start of the Great Depression, and he died in 1982. Uh, he's one of the most influential science fiction writers in the world. His work has impacted lots and lots of people. There have been multiple film adaptations and story adaptations of his work, and the biggest is the movie Blade Runner. Uh, One of the things that Dick was concerned about in his writing was the influence of technology on the nature of reality, on our understanding of identity, and on our effects to build community. And you can see those themes running all the way through Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. It's important to note that Philip K. Dick is a science fiction writer, and he comes out of the 50s and 60s, and that's an important tradition in American science fiction. It is after World War II, after nuclear war, after we see the impact of corporations in our society, and at the onset of digital technologies, of computers and artificial intelligence. So in 1950s and 60s science fiction, there's a few things to note. One, that the writers that at that time, it was a very male-dominated field. There were women science fiction writers, but it's very male-dominated, and you can see some of the sexist language in Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. There's a big mistrust of governments and corporations and what they're doing to us and why they're doing it to us, and what we should do in response. There's a suspicion of the military-industrial complex. This is coming particularly after dropping atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in World War II, how the military around us builds social, affects our society. And then the writers of the 1950s and 60s, now they had all kinds of political stripes, but many of them were trying to rewrite human experience, or rewrite our understanding of human experience, so that we could build a more just and equitable world. Sorry, think about those things as you're those themes and those factors of Philip K. Dick's life as you're reading this novel this week, and try to enjoy the novel. But you might also want to take some notes and some ideas down as you're reading it, to try to reflect the fact that you are reading it, but also to think about some of the bigger issues that are at play there. Overall, there's some messages for you to take from this. The course theme is authenticity. I want to see an authentic student engaged in the reading, in the discussion, in the writing of the course. I want to see you authentically. And if you're using AI, I can't see that. And that becomes offensive to this course, to your fellow students, to me. I want to see your engagement in this course, that you are a part of what's going on. I want to see that you have integrity, that this matters to you, and that you think the course matters, that you think you matter, that you think I matter, that the ideas matter, that writing matters. I want to see the integrity behind that, and that integrity will lead to effort that will be shown through the heavy work that you're doing in this 7 weeks, which will then lead to learning. This is these 5 words are part of my essential teaching philosophy, and I want to see it reflected in the work you're doing for this class and in the projects that you're doing for this class. I'm seeing it in some people, and quite a few people. I'm not seeing it in others, and I want to make sure we see it. Because if we were face to face, I would be able to assess these things on a daily basis. I would be able to see how engaged you were with the class, how authentic you were with the reading, how much integrity you had with doing the work. I would be able to see it. I cannot see it face to face here. I can't see what you're doing. All I've got is your computer record and your what you're producing. That's the only way that I have to make sure that you are authentically engaged with integrity and effort, and that you're learning. We are starting project number 2. You'll see that this is a 4-stage project with 4 different things we're doing. First part of it is doing academic research. You're learning about that this week. Next week, on June 4th and 5th, you will be taking an in-class impromptu writing exam from the Moodle browser. You'll click on it. You'll start your exam. You will have 1 hour from clicking on it to finishing it, to write an entire essay. Now, you got a lecture to watch about that later this week, or maybe you've already watched it because it's already posted, and you're going to be expected to complete an entire essay in that time. There's reasons for this. Part of the reasons is because of authenticity and integrity. I want to make sure that you're authentically and engaged. It's a good exercise to learn how to produce something on the spot, but you'll also see that I'm also skeptical about the purposes and the effects of this kind of writing in the lecture. But ultimately, this is also going to lead into part of the project we're doing. And part of the project we're doing is on writing and integrity and work in AI. And so this essay exam will lead into part of that project. So be prepared June 4th and 5th to have 1 hour where you can click on this and do an entire essay within 1 hour. You won't be able to stop. You won't be able to hit pause. You'll have to do it all in one sitting. A couple of things with that. One, if you do the essay on June 4th at 2 p.m., do not then contact your friend on June 4th at 5 p.m. and tell them what the essay question is. Ultimately, if you do, it's not going to be that much of a big deal, but we don't want to see any cheating, right? And you don't want to see your ideas reproduced in somebody else's ideas. So I would keep your work private to you. Don't show it to other people. You can talk about the question if you want. I really can't stop that. And it's not like you're going to give much away by telling people the question. However, let people do their own work. Don't share your essay, because if you share your essay, then you can be accused of cheating as well as somebody else. It would be pretty easy to cheat on this essay exam, or it would seem pretty easy to cheat, to take the prompt, put it into ChatGPT and see what ChatGPT has to say about it. Don't do that, because that is cheating. You'll get caught, and because I'm a very good reader, and I could, so that would be a bad move. Do your own writing. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what the grade is on that. That's not the point. This is not a real graded exam. It's an exercise in taking an exam. So just do your own writing, get it done, engage with it, complete it, and then document it. If you have any problems in this, if your computer crashes, or you your wall crashes down on you as you're doing this, take a picture, document it, send it to me. If you take notes and do some brainstorming on the side and you want to include that with your exam, that would be great. Show me the picture of that. Just document what you're doing to show me that you're engaged fully. One last thing, I'm going to go to our next slide here. This next slide mentions suicide. I just want to mention that because we're going to talk about stress. This is a stressful semester. All the things are happening, and we got a lot going on this week as we are moving towards the second half of the semester. So I just want to remind you that lots of people feel overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed. Lots of people feel exhausted. Lots of people feel depressed, like they can't function, and some people have considered suicide as a result of all this stress. Being a student is stressful. Being a professor is stressful. Life is stressful. But sometimes when the work is as intense as it is right now in this 7-week semester, it can feel like too much. Don't give up. Make sure you're getting through this, and you will complete this semester before you're done, and then your English 132 requirement is all done. To help you do that, here's some resources. First, the Writing Center. The Writing Center is open during the spring semester or summer semester. You can go meet with a Writing Center respondent right today. I think they're open today. And you can talk about your different projects, your writing, your journal, your discussion board posts, whatever you need to talk about with writing, and they will help you out. It's a really great space on our campus. They also have virtual appointments. So you see the link there that will help you get you some help from the Writing Center. Counseling. We have a fully staffed counseling department on campus. The counseling there is designed to help you think about the stresses and anxieties you feel about learning, what kinds of things might be interfering with your learning, and also to think about the future of your learning. What are you going to do with it? We have fully licensed therapists on staff. They can't give you therapy, but they can do some intervention and help you, point you to some resources that might be helpful. If you are feeling overwhelmed to the point where you can't produce anything for your classes, or you're just too stressed out about it, maybe make an appointment with the counseling center. We also have an assisted learning services office. You can see that link up here. The assisted learning services is an office designed for people that have difficulties, learning difficulties and challenges that affect their ability to learn. You might want to check them out if you think you have some problems with ADHD, with autism, with reading deficiencies, whatever your issues you might have. And then finally, hunger sucks. And if you are somebody who's having to do a full load of classes, you may not be able to do a full load of work, and maybe you're running short on money this semester. We have what's called the Hawk's Nest on this campus that has some free food and some free toiletries for you. You can go over there and fill up a bag of food. This is designed for our students to help those students who are facing food insecurity, who don't have enough money to buy some food. There's an opportunity for you to find some food. So it's there on there as well. I'm also a resource. If you have questions, if you have problems, contact me. I'm always happy to talk with you and to try to help you out. Now, of course, I'm a little intimidating. I can understand that. You don't get to see me face to face. You don't get to see what a jovial dude I am. But I am happy to help you when I can. So send me an email if you've got questions. That's all we got for this week. For this first part of the week, you've got 2 more lectures to get through. The second one will be posted on Friday. It's about research, and then you have the in-class writing exam lecture that's already posted, plus all the reading. Good luck this week. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll talk to you soon.